Lyrically for this song, my favorite line is actually, you could drag my skin until it bleeds. So the influence for the music video was actually from the movie The Witch. I'm a huge horror movie fan, and that's one of the ones that really scared me. But I also loved the cinematography for it, so I really wanted to kind of echo that and bring that in. There's also some elements from The Shining, and there's a short film called Erde, which is about the human body as a landscape. And so I kind of took ideas from that and added in, the elements of natural light, and I wanted to highlight those things. So Coldharbour doesn't reference a specific Daedric prince. This actually has a lot more to do with a realm. Coldharbour is basically the inverse of Nirn. So you can think of it kind of like a hellscape. Maybe not as, demonic and all those things, but it's definitely very spooky. Even if you just Google it, if you haven't played the games, it's very dark and with the spooky trees and the blue fire and all these things. It's very moody, and I was drawn to it. So there actually were quite a few challenges when it came to filming Coldharbour. We knew that we wanted to film something outside in the forest, and it's hot here in Texas. So we went out to this little woodsy area near my house, and turns out there's a lot of bugs, and it was very hot, and we weren't ready for all the thorns and branches and things like that. And so we planned to come back again another day. And then when we started filming, the second day, we started inside. We did all these indoor scenes where you can see all the close-ups of the makeup in the face and the textures and all these things. And it started storming, and it was like a week straight of just thunderstorms, and we couldn't get out there. It was wet, you can't really film out there when it's all muddy. And then we finally filmed it, the rest of it Labor Day, and it was, again, hot, but we prepared. We brought bug spray, we brought shears, and we made our little space and filmed, and we knocked it out. And then more storms showed up right at the end, so that was really cool. You may not see it in the video, but it was happening during some of the darker scenes. So initially Coldharbour was actually more guitar driven, and we used more real drum sounds. But then when we brought it into the studio with Jeff, he used synth, brought in electronic drums and some vocal effects. He gave it a more cinematic feel, and that's what you hear now. For the album as a whole, we want to create a more dynamic experience, and I know the past few singles have been a lot more metal heavy, a lot more driving, but we wanted to kind of call back to Wretched and bring back that slower pace and more of the synth driven sounds. And so it's kind of like Wretched, but it builds upon it, and obviously we've grown since then, and I think that's something that we wanted to kind of call back to and make sure that we're incorporating more of those things. Lyrically for this song, my favorite line is actually, "You could drag my skin until it bleeds." I like the drama of it. I know it sounds a little extreme, but I don't know, I like to see what I'm allowed to do. For Coldharbour's music video, we actually didn't use any makeup at all. We used an Aztec clay mask and applied that to my skin and let it dry, and it cracked and it hurt a lot, but it was totally worth it because I love the texture that it brought to the video, and I love the way that it looks. I would say that there is no protagonist in this music video. The, I guess, creature or figure that you see in the video is more of an element of texture and a sort of feeling. Maybe you can call it a shade. But I didn't want there to be a character because I felt like all of the other videos have featured, me as a certain character, a Skyrim-esque character, and for this one I wanted it to be almost faceless. I know, like, obviously I'm playing this figure, but I didn't want to show too much of my face at all times. Even in the, in the white sheets, you can't really see too much definition on who it is, and I just thought that was something really cool to try out. Even though Daedric started off as, hugely Skyrim-based and entirely focused on that realm, I think it's safe to say that we could branch out and try other things and, talk about other subjects, without having a huge departure from who we are. We can stay true to our aesthetic while developing our own world, and the possibilities of that are super exciting. Thanks for watching. If you have any additional questions, feel free to comment below.